Hi, it's Ashley from AB Sound Advice. Today we're doing a product review on the xDuoo TA-10R tube headphone amplifier. The R for red, and it also does come in grey, if you're wondering about the part number. Right, first off, you can see obviously the box in the background. It's a high-res certified headphone amp. It comes with a warranty card. We have the owner's manual, and it also comes with the computer connection, and we also have the power cable, which is using a 3-pin and 3-style plug at the end. So what do we think of this? So as always, I always go through just some of the fast features and maybe some of the probably just some of the smaller features. Obviously it's a tube amplifier using the 12AU7. It's using an 8-core chip. And again, if you're wanting more detailed information about this, you can find it on the xduoo.net website, or duck onto hifihq.com.au for Australia, or hifihq.co.nz for New Zealand if you want further information. It's using an AKM flagship DAC, USB coaxial digital interface, A-class transistor expansion, and of course USB dual clock system. We've got Japanese capacitors and shell made from aluminium, and power supply AC 100 to 240, and it supports OS, Windows drivers, may require drivers, Mac. And we've also got a PCM and output 2000 MWs at 32 ohms, and XLR is at 2000 MW at 32 ohms as well. We have a frequency response of 10 Hz to 100 kHz, plus and minus 1 dB, and a gain of 18 plus dB, distortion at 0.01. at 1 kHz 32 ohm load, suitable for headphone impedances between 8 and 600 ohms. Size we are dealing with here is 23 by 12 by 10.5 cms and weighs in at 3.3 pounds, which is 1.5 kg. USB input, 2 sets of auxiliary inputs, and a SPDIF output and auxiliary output. So that's a mouthful in itself. So what I can say straight off the bat is, wow, I've had this on my desk for a couple of weeks now, and you'll see when I run to the back of this, I've run it through all its traps, analog in, digital in, fibre optic in, coaxial in, and obviously the USB to printer connection input as well. And through all of them, my preference, would you believe, is actually using a USB adapter, converting it to coaxial and optical. I find that just to be a lot smoother. It's not so harsh. I find USB to the normal printer plug tends to be just a little bit bright, but that's just me. I think everyone will have their own opinion on that. Using Tidal, and of course you can see on here on the screen, you're able to see what it's outputting, whether it be 48, 88 or whatever. You can see that on the display. The headphones that I used through all of my testing on this, I used the Bravo HAMT-1 Mark II headphones, and that's my main reference headphone that I use for pretty well testing everything these days. Certainly one of my favourite headphones. And the reason I do that is it's really what you put into the headphone is exactly what you get. So if I'm going to be testing and reviewing headphone amplifiers and DACs, I need a reference point, and I need something that I can hear all the differences. And it's certainly made a big difference using that, because each headphone amplifier and each cable I'm changing, I can hear the slight changes. So getting to this headphone amp, I found it to be very warm, it's smooth, and the voices are just fantastic. I obviously used the 6.3 and I used the balance connection, and thoroughly enjoyed it. I think for really, when you look at what they're wanting for it, I think in the US market they're about 318 US In our part of the world, they're anywhere between $800 and $900. That's obviously fully shipped, so all the freight and everything costs us through the roof these days. So each place will be different. I also have a fondness to valve headphone amps. I absolutely love it, and also thought it was a nice touch that just clicks there. It's just a protection to stop you burning your fingers on the valve. And all in all, I love the colour and the gold. It really is a great mix. The volume control, I've had no issues with this whatsoever. I'd highly recommend it for anybody who's looking for a headphone amp DAC and just wants the one product on their desk. They don't want to have all different adapters. The thing I loved about this, I do like the balance and the 6.3. It's a big plus to me having both. I have pretty well all types of connections, but I can adapt anything. But it's nice just to be able to plug straight in. This unit also is coaxial and optical decoding as professional connection. So they're using an Adopt CS8422 receiver chip to support up to PCM 24-bit/192KHZ. So I really do, to be honest with you, I really love it. I'm really not looking forward to giving this back. You would have seen in a lot of my reviews on DAC amps, I think for me so far, if I was looking for something for myself for my desk, this would be the way to go. It really is. For the money and the sound, there's nothing that I have had at this price point that comes near it. And even at our slightly dearer price in this part of the world, it's stacking up against everything similar. And I think, to be honest, if you're looking at a really nice little DAC amp, you're not going to go past the xDuoo TA-10R. Now, while I'm at it, we'll just have a look. You'll see on the back here, I've left all the connections in, and we'll just move this box aside so you can see. So on the back here, you'll see I've pretty well used every connection. You can see I'm using the fibre optic. I've got the coaxial in, the printer connection, USB connection. Underneath here, I've also got analog out, which I've run off to another headphone amp to test. It also has 2 RCA analogs in and also a coaxial in. It really is well featured in the sense of connections, and you can see there I've got all the cables connected up to that. And I really do love this unit. Really not looking forward to giving it back. And maybe it's just, isn't it funny? Sometimes it can be just as simple as the colour. And I think looking at this unit, it really... it looks fantastic, sounds fantastic, and as I said, for the price point they're asking for it, you really couldn't go wrong going with this. And I think it's just a bonus that it's high res, and from a musical standpoint, there was nothing I played on this that caused me any grief or had any issues with. I think, as I said, the top end, I mean, you've got to remember, I do play with a lot with things worth maybe 5 or 6 times, maybe even actually 10 times more than this, and I think when I put my sensibility hat on and 40 years of messing with headphones and all this sort of stuff, I just really, as you know, in all my reviews, I'm not really a spec person, really. It's all based on what my ears can hear. And I've had a career where products are sent to me for evaluation on what I feel the sound is like and where I think the price points sit. It's been something that I've enjoyed doing over that 40-year career. And today, I think the price... what you get for it, the sound, it ticks all the boxes off. I found it, as I said, even with the headphones I was using, the Obravos are about a $5,000 headphone, and I could hear everything. So if there was a change, every detail was there. Obviously, it's as good as a headphone amp can be at that price point. Would I own one of these? Absolutely. I think it's a great little headphone amp. It'd be giving some of the mainstream brands a run for their money. I think from a visual perspective, as I've mentioned before, I love the look of it. I think they've done a fantastic job, and as I said, top end, mid, and bass, right across the bases, it's very smooth, very enjoyable. There's a couple of times you might find just to be a smidgen bright, and there might be just a little bit of a break up at some of those higher levels, but really you'd have to be pretty... if you're looking for that sort of level of detail, then this wouldn't be the headphone amp for you. But if you're looking for something that can sit on your desk, or you want something that looks cool and it's just a great product, to have and use with any of your headphones that you may have laying around. I think it's fantastic, and as I said, it's a big plus having the two connections. And really, I love the little display, and you can see, or just actually while I've got it, you can see optical. You've got auxiliary in, USB in, coaxial, and of course, if the other plug's been, it's obviously auto detecting if something's connected. So there's a couple of cables that I haven't plugged in so far. So I think long and short is great little unit. I think xDuoo TA-10R is something to definitely look at. And if you're looking to buy one of these, I can honestly say you won't be disappointed. It's a great little unit, and I highly recommend it. So that's as far as I can go. I don't rate things 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, but would I own one? Yes, definitely, absolutely love it. And a great job to the guys at xDuoo. And I hope you've enjoyed today's product review. And again, we'll catch you next time on AB Sound Advice.